2, 1. Doo, doo, doo. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're live. And if we're not live, uh, man, I really messed up. Okay, we're live on several platforms. About Twitch. We live on Twitch. I got bits. 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 Okay, sorry. So I got a little carried away. Is that me? Or is this somebody else's? Oh, shoot. I'm hella alive. Alright, but what about LinkedIn? Maybe. We'll see. Alright. Because last time we did this number, I was on LinkedIn and I had the event on LinkedIn and then just didn't go live. So, trying to make sure that that's live before we do anything else. And then we will start recording the actual podcast. Bum, bum, bum. Ba bum, bum, bum. Miss Bean. Oh, but wait, check it out. Okay, that's cool and all, but hey, it's me. That's not what not why we're here. Oh, I didn't even fix that. Darn it. That's fine, I can't do it while I'm streaming. Oh, yeah. He's so majestic. Alright. Alright. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, so, see, how, can anybody please teach me how to go live as humanly possible on LinkedIn? Like, I got the bits. Okay. Alright. Uploaded the cover image. Alright. Yep. Okay. It's a gorgeous picture of a lion. What else would it be? Alright. Yeah. LinkedIn. Event name. Lions Life Coaching. And I would put the momentum and what all we're doing and really just, I really just wanted to get its mojo on. I always worry, and this is probably a completely illegitimate fear, but I always worry, like, see, it doesn't give me a stream key. Where's my LinkedIn stream? Oh, I have it. Where do I find this? Oh. Oh. I gotta, oh. Well, that's okay. See, I'll just fix that next time. So, y'all will be able to see me on, wait, never say never. We might, we might have a thing here. We might have LinkedIn, but we are on Twitch, which is awesome to me. I particularly like Twitch, but only in the past for viewing purposes. All right, and we will probably be on Twitter next week. Yeah, so that's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Is it working? No. Probably because, wait, click, when I'm ready, go live. Go live. Preserving momentum this year. All right. Oh, wait, maybe I have to stop this and start it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm on LinkedIn. Oh, this is what dreams are made of, people. I dreamt it, so I beamed it. Being about it. Oh, yeah. I'm just streaming all over the place. Just on their face, on their shoes, on their back. What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was so focused on streaming all over the place that I definitely did not prepare as well as I should have. So, I'm going to just have to go streaming. Okay. But, anyways, for serious, we're going to be talking about preserving momentum. This, what y'all. Alright, so, sorry, we got a lot of. I started using Riverside, which is pretty cash money, and it's awesome. It lets you stream to Twitter, uh, Twitch, sorry, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube all at the same time. And the quality's pretty awesome. I think I got my settings all fair up in middle. And this next one, what is this? Um, this next week, I'm gonna be setting it in the app that I use for managing social media. I'm gonna put it all in there like a week ahead of time, probably tonight or tomorrow. That way, all of them are up and everybody can view them on their preferred platform. Just easy peasy. It's gonna be you're just gonna click a button. I'm not gonna stress about it. Y'all won't stress about it. Y'all won't stress about it probably either way. That's the right answer. Um, so, ooh, I can create a text or photo story. Yeah, I know. I already knew that. That's not the exciting part. But you just click the crap out of that link. Nah. Where are we going? Oh, there you go. You're more into the YouTube stream, so on point and centered. You gotta center yourself. Okay. Yeah. There we go. That's doing things. I. That's fantastic. All right. AI templates. Whoo. There we go. Look at this nice lion. Look how favorable he is. Majestic. Thanks, Wood. You're still making magic happen. Oh, I also added this Donnie Darko poster. My friend Liz, well, our co-host who's not present this evening, his wife made that. She's very talented. Don't look at the numbers. Don't look at the numbers. One of the numbers is that's all right. Anyways, all right. So, do y'all want some intro music? I can't imagine y'all really have a choice, but I think y'all would want some intro music. Okay, well that's beside the point. How many minutes in are we? 4 minutes. Hey everyone, another solo episode, but not to worry, I made up for it by being twice as exciting. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more free coaching content. We're still working on our website, as well as the raffle, as well as posters, as well as other types of merch because I just figured these videos would make a lot more sense with like a lion in the background or something. So, thus the TV. Maybe like a mug, I think, because then if I'm sipping on Lions Life Coaching and I have a poster of Lions Life Coaching, it looks like I believe in me. It's like affirmations. Oh, what about a protein shaker cup? Okay, all right. Well, that's enough. Lions Life Coaching. It turns out there is a Jasper command for that. It'll write your whole podcast script, your whole intro, and everything. Uh, Unfortunately, I couldn't find it again because I really wanted to use it because I didn't have a lot of time this week. I was busy. Okay, so today we're going to talk about it's okay. So we're 2 weeks into the new year. How many of you all are still completely up on your New Year's resolutions? Yeah, same here. Okay. So I don't make New Year's resolutions, but that's not to say like I'm so disciplined and you're not. It's genuinely, I make resolutions all the time. And the majority of those resolutions I stick to. Sometimes I have bad days. Sometimes I, break and I smoked a cigarette. But for the most part, am I worried about doing that again? No, it was a really bad day, and I already knew the day wasn't going to go well. And I was like, you know what? I've been good for weeks. Am I going back to smoking? Absolutely not. No, I can breathe. I can smell things again, which is really weird. The smells like I don't even remember what it was. I was just like, what? It's not rubber. It just smelled. It's weird. So, but I quit smoking. I'm smoking this zero nic. So, anyways, New Year's resolutions are hard. It's also like the last time personally that I'd ever want to make a resolution because you're about to see a bunch of people fail. That's what I mean. What is that going to do for your psyche? Like everybody by this point is probably for the most part already gone. Yeah, I quit. Yeah, I started drinking again. So and then you're like, oh, well, I don't feel so bad about not going to the gym because Jane here is an alcoholic. Okay, not really the right mentality. Okay, so seeing a bunch of people fail, seeing you fail is not good for you. That's one of the reasons, like, for instance, while I was smoking, I didn't try and quit. Okay, there were a couple months where I was like, I'm going to try and quit, and under the circumstances that I was in, I shouldn't have tried to quit at all. There was no, it wasn't feasible to. If you're moving, or yeah, it's the new year, or you're on vacation, or you have something going on that's not your day-to-day life, that's probably not the time to formulate something new, make a New Year's resolution, or I'm sorry, quit smoking, start going to the gym. It's just not. Like, enjoy your vacation, smoke, don't go to the gym, whatever it is, just keep doing it because you're just going to be stressed out and focusing on that the whole time instead of enjoying your vacation. But once you get back to day-to-day life, don't do the I'm gonna quit and then smoking, for instance. I'm gonna quit and then you don't quit and then you're like that. Then you lose faith in yourself and you kind of aren't. You're then when you actually really want to quit, you're gonna be like, well, I failed 1,000 times. What's 1,001? When that one time you seriously want to quit and you mean it, it's gonna be a lot harder and you might just fall kind of flat. So it in my opinion just you know make one serious attempt. Buy a bunch of patches, but get a bunch of gum. Uh, just on the topic of quitting smoking, those patches work. Those patches actually work. You might have to, you know, use more than one, or get the 28 milligram. I think is the one that I wound up using. Uh, hey, I mean, those cheesy commercials where the guy's like, "I quit for my, you know, pet salamander." Oh, kind of cheesy, but I gotta say, like, I was kind of the same thing. Look at this patch I got on me. I'm quitting. And I mean, that kind of, that's another thing I didn't do. I didn't really tell people I was quitting until here recently when I actually quit. Like, what was it? I quit beginning of December, I think. Whenever, what was that? 3 podcasts, 4 podcasts ago. So it's about a month. Um, it wasn't the very day that I said I was going to on the podcast, but I think it was like the next day or the day after. Uh, and that's why I said it on here, because it doesn't really make much sense for a for a life coach to smoke, uh, and B, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to say to all of the people that would hold me accountable brutally, as the internet is. You should tear me up if I'm not quitting, because that's I mean, for me, that's why I announced it to everybody, like, I'm going to do this. But when you're fully ready for that, do it. Gym, same thing. But okay, so this gum is delicious. It's almost addictive. No, I'm just kidding. It's not delicious and maybe addictive. Okay, so what kind of goals did you set for your New Year's resolution? Did you set like manageable ones, or did you kind of set like, you know, I'm gonna go to the gym 6 days a week? How often were you going in December? No days a week. Okay, that's not fairly realistic. Like, when I got really stressed out, so I started going to the gym 6 days a week because I was really stressed out. I don't recommend that, because when you start going to the gym, you're going to get really sore. Uh, I recommend going 3 or 4 times a week. That it to start. If you got to do like every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or figure out Saturday or Sunday, whatever. That's I mean, you're going to be sore. That's part of it. You're going to be sore, and days are going to overlap, and you're not going to want to. Yeah, I get it, but if you at least have something manageable, it's I wouldn't say it requires less discipline, but you'll be able to meet it. It's better mentally. You will be able to see yourself succeeding over and over and over again, as compared to, well, because honestly, if you weren't going to the gym at all and you went 3 days last week and you went 3 days this week, you're still going to the gym. If you're going, this coming week, like, try and go for 4 days. Okay, that is something you can work with, because that is doing it. I'm proud of you if you are still going. Go this week. That's why I made this video now. I'm trying to get in the habit of thinking like a month ahead at least, so that when people kind of fall off the wagon, for instance, I'll be there to, because like I opened with a question of who's still going, who's still trying to drink less, or quit smoking, or go to the gym, or whatever you resolve to do. Those are big ones that I know everybody does. But so another thing you can do, spend time with positive people. Okay, like I said, I kind of make resolutions throughout the year that I'm going to do this. Some I fail, but eventually I nail almost all of them. Eventually. That's, in my opinion, something you're supposed to do as you get older. So you're supposed to have more discipline. Um, I here's another one. I for months I was doing awesome. I was getting up super early, and I was getting a ton of crap done. Then I kind of like, you know what? I'm tired. I've been going to the gym. I've been busting my butt. I started advertising. I started life coaching, and I'm kind of tired. I don't really want to get up early today. It was like Sunday or Saturday. I go to church at like 10. So I was like, I don't really feel like it. I'm going to sleep in a little bit. And on Sunday, that's fine. Sometimes I let myself get away with that. And then Monday rolled around, and I was like, well, I really don't have any meetings. I really don't have anything to do this early in the morning. And Mondays are typically my day off from the gym because it was silly trying to get the gym done, and everybody has a hectic Monday, in my opinion. When I was corporate, I it was just ridiculous how much stuff you have to do on Monday. So I was like, I don't really have to do anything. So, and then you know what? I started getting up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, and that is way too late for as much as I have to get done in a day. So that's not feasible. So I started getting up early again, and so far it's been going fairly well, and I'm back into my routine of waking up early because I set a routine and I was disciplined before. It's kind of like, I think, if any of you are familiar with protein synthesis in your muscles, like if you stop going to the gym for a little bit, your muscles kind of remember how to rebuild the muscle once you start eating enough and once you start going to the gym again. So I won't lie to y'all, I totally didn't make this video long enough. It's a still image of a lion. So, uh-oh. Oh, there we go. So I restarted it. So we're good. So, but set realistic goals. Something you can do. And I recommend getting up early anyways. Just your life is 20 to 30% less stressful from that one thing alone. Then, and another bonus 20 or 30%, less stress, take cold showers. I started taking cold showers and it sucked for a while. And it's not so bad now. Actually, after about 30 seconds of being in the cold of water, it's not even a thing anymore. Sometimes on like Facebook, I'll watch videos of like people doing like they'll be in ant they'll be in like, I don't know, I have no idea where these people are actually, but they'll somewhere cold and they'll cut like a triangle or a hole in the ice, and then wearing like next to nothing, they'll jump in the ice and just so I can be like, oh, you're just taking a cold shower. It's not that bad. Don't be ridiculous. That chick just jumped in the water. She's probably gonna die. She's probably got hypothermia, and they don't die. They're fine. So, but yeah, that's if you want less anxiety, take cold showers and wake up early. It's a lot easier to confront the day. You're going to the day instead of the day is coming to you. Is kind of how I feel and see it. Like when you wake up and say you got to be at work at 9, you wake up at 8, you rush to get ready, or actually let's be real. Like you wake up at 8:15, you try and shower, make lunch, and get dressed, and leave by 8:30. Wind up leaving by 8:37. Run 2 stoplights and almost get hit, by an oncoming train because the train comes every day at 8:42. But I mean, it's a train. Sometimes you may like, but and then as soon as you get to work at 9:01, you're like, oh, I made it. I mean, barely. Why would you want to live your life like that? Just stay up late and play on your phone? If you got kids, different scenario. Okay, I definitely get that. Like, there's a lot of stuff. You're taking care of a whole other human being. Human being. My daughter's nickname is Bean. It's Bean. So another thing if there was actually a study or something conducted by, or, well, actually no, I'm sorry. I think Jordan Peterson worked on this little like project of trying to make, I believe, I want to say it was like lawyers more efficient. So how many billable hours they have, they work, is how they get paid at firms, at large lawyer firms. And he was tasked with figuring out how to make the lawyers more efficient. So what he did was he, you know, studied them and saw how they operated, and he made them take a 3 or 4 day weekend every so often, like maybe every 2 months or every 3 months or something. And they increased their billable hours by 20% by doing that because they were no longer worked to exhaustion. So that's kind of why I said, you know, don't bite off more than you can chew, or maybe bite off slightly more than you can chew. Not so much more you're just going to have to, something's got to give, so you give the gym, or you give, going back to drinking. That's not what you're going for. Try and do what you know you can do successfully. Like, it should be a challenge. That's part of the point. I mean, you're drinking, smoking, going to the gym after you haven't. Okay, so once you start succeeding, part of building discipline is you have to see yourself succeeding. That's something I didn't really realize until I started doing it. I'd always go to the gym for like 6 or 8 months, and then like I'd get into about the same shape, and I was always kind of a pudgy guy. I finally got rid of my gut, but after about 6 or 8 months, I would get sick. Something would happen, like life circumstance. I had to move. I had to join a military. Something would happen, and I'd stop going to the gym. Actually, going to the gym. That doesn't mean I wasn't active, but I would stop going to the gym. Now I've kind of built my life around going to the gym and work, but I'm working really hard not to get sick. I'm eating the right foods. I'm getting enough sleep. That's another thing. If you want to resolve to do something, like, that's a great place to start, is sleep. And if you heard me say it once, you're going to hear me say it 1,000 more times. Sleep is probably the place you want to start with your psychological vent better. If you're not getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, it's really hard to fight a battle on an empty stomach. The army, that was armies fight on their stomachs. I don't remember the quote, but if you think of yourself as the army, you also can't fight without sleep. That's back to the gym. Like, if are you going to be able to go and keep up with a 3 or 4 day a week gym schedule if you don't sleep, if you don't have the energy? No, you're going to show up for 15 minutes and leave. And sometimes I do that, and I'm like, you know what? I showed up, I did my cardio, and I did like 15 to 30 minutes of weightlifting. Not great, not where I want to be. I want to be working there for a little longer than that, at least. But I still kept the schedule. So, and that's the part of the discipline. Uh, another thing you learn once you start going to the gym, then you have to keep going to the gym. uh, it's it's there's always more discipline to be had. The higher you go up in anything, the more discipline it's going to take. There was a video game I used to play with my friends online, James, our co-host, included. Uh, you would get to level 90 out of 99, and that was halfway there, the way that it's scaled. So once you had gotten to level 90, in like it was a game where you'd grind, RuneScape Classic, but now I think it's called Classic. But once you got to level 90, You were halfway there. That's discouraging. That was a little discouraging. Takes forever. It'd take weeks to get to 91, weeks to get to 92. But that's part of it. Just focus on the part you're at. Like, don't worry about what you're going to need to do 5 years from now. Like 2 years, maybe. That's fair. But um, spending time with positive people. I think I brought this up and then got on a tangent. Once you're around positive people, it's a changer. Uh, to be honest, you don't even until trying to be disciplined and do something every day and work on something to better yourself or like build a company. Um, then it's pretty easy to see like and I don't mind critical people like necessarily. Uh, if you're like this one aspect is how you want it. That's a terrible idea. You shouldn't do. It's not even anymore. If you set a goal and you want to do that goal, you want to be successful in this area to do this thing, and somebody just craps on the whole general thing, and they don't know anything about what they're talking about, I don't really, I don't need that. I don't need you. It's okay. It's just, and yeah, I'll tell you one thing I was majorly discouraged about was I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I had some, uh, but not many, and they weren't great. It's a hard lesson, and I'm glad I learned it. I make room for people like positive, good people, like in the future, like tomorrow, next week, next month, whenever, until you get rid of all the negative people and toxic people and negativity that surrounds those people in their lives, that they're not doing anything with their life and they're not moving forward and they're just kind of stuck doing the same boring. I think Raul touched on it, like uh, the same people in the bars, like they're just gonna be serving drinks, even if you wrote them a check for their that month's rent, gonna blow that money themselves on paycheck to paycheck in a year's time. Okay, not what you want to be doing. But once you the negative people and make room and energy, like there's only so much of you. There's only so much mental just crap you can deal with. There's only so much energy you have. There's only so much physical energy you have. Until you get rid of all the people that are draining your energy, that you're thinking like, oh God, like, and then you realize at some point that you're spending, I don't know, be generous and say like half the day thinking about how you're going to deal with them. Once you stop doing that, once you stop interacting with them, once you stop feeding that negativity in I it's I don't I'm not even correlating this with a specific person, just the negative energy demon eater. Once you stop feeding that, you will be surprised. You will feel better. You will just talk to people randomly, like, hey, down the side, just walking on the side of the road, like, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, and instead of just going, I'm fine, how are you? You'll actually feel like having enough energy to respond to these people and talk to them. And, maybe they know something. Maybe they're interesting. Maybe you can learn something from them. But if you're afraid of losing, the few friends you do have, you're never going to make better friends. You're never going to make positive thinking friends. Um, and I realized that was once I got divorced. I wondered why before that nobody talked to me in the gym. Like they don't, they just kind of like you know would kind of look at the floor or not really try to interact. And it's not because I'm such a big bulky dude. It's the didn't like the person I was with. And when you go to the gym with somebody, you're like a unit. Everybody knows that you showed up with that person. That's y'all are together. But like half of the gym is now like people I talk to on a fairly regular basis. Like I'm friends with some of them. Like I was going there and it was it was a length of time that I was going there with somebody. And then since I've been going by myself, it's been great. It's a literal different place. The atmosphere is different to me, and nothing's changed but me. I'm going by myself without that anchor around my neck dragging me down. And now people want to talk to me. They ask how I'm doing. I'm just trying to get like you, bro. That's the just when that's I've made it. I've made it. I'm, I know he was being facetious at least in some ways, but I am there fairly often. I'm at least there no matter what. Um, but if you don't make room for positive people aren't going to hang around. Even if you're a positive person yourself, if you've just got a flock of negativity around you, just a pack of negative, they're not gonna, they'll sense it. They don't want to be around that. It's hard to stay positive. It's a lot harder to stay positive than it is to stay negative. Being negative, yeah, you feel like crap all the time, but that truly is the path of least resistance. Like, and just as an example, uh, people I used to work with, I used to teach and repair computers. That was the first entrepreneurial venture I ever involved myself in was uh, computer repair, network repair, whatever they had, and teaching. But Holocaust survivors. One of my students was a Holocaust survivor, and she was one of the happiest people I've ever met. And given that she'd witnessed at the time worse than anything I'd ever imagined, uh, that's saying something. So it's hard work being positive, but it's much better. It's much better that way. And also, positive people change. They do things. They get disciplined. They try going places and doing things and meeting people and living. Like if you're not positive, you're just negative, a ball of negativity. You're not going to change. You're not going to experience life. It's just going to be underwhelming. I know I was there for many, many years. Still in some ways am, but I'm working to change myself and change other people in all the positive ways that I can muster. All right. So, taking care of yourself. Well, this is an interesting topic because people are all about the self-care and the mental health. I hate how that got turned into a buzzword, like as if we needed, like to give the previous generation something else to complain about us for. Uh, like mental health is so important, but if you claim to be involved in mental health or you're claim to care about it or but it's just something on your like Facebook feed or it's just like a buzzword or you use it to complain That's one of my favorites. People use that to complain. If you're, on about like mental health is a buzzword, but you're not going to the gym, you're not trying to get your sleep straightened out, you're not trying to eat better, I gotta say that's ridiculous. That's a load of bull. Like that's just nonsense. Like eat breakfast, unless you're intermittent fasting on purpose, and that is what you're doing, and it's working for you. I'm not going to say it works for everybody. It works for me. But now I'm trying to go up in weight, so I'm eating as soon as I wake up. But work on your sleep. Message me, message us at Lions Life Coaching, or you know at our website tricitiesdm.com. Just shoot us a message if you have problems with your sleep. There's probably a 60% chance that I've encountered the problem, uh, the sleep related issue. I've had many, and I put in the work to get better. So and my sleep is still not as good as it could be. But going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time, pretty big ones. And they're, once you get them, it's. I mean, I like sleeping. Depressed people like sleeping. Everybody that I know of likes sleeping. If you have night terrors, you wish you liked sleeping. Like that. It's so important. But yeah, you got to take care of yourself, and it's mental health is not just a buzzword. It does take work, but the payoff is huge. I want that on it, just to say like the payoff is huge, just at random intervals. All right, so actually, I'm gonna add something to this list right now. Right now, adoration. Adorations, I think, if are if it's somebody else, like you, like for my daughter, like she is smart, she's nice, and she's pretty or beautiful. I do them in German because I'm trying to teach her another language. But admirations, whatever. Write something positive on your mirror. Uh, one that one that works, I think, is give yourself a high five, and it's pretty ridiculous. You feel kind of silly doing it, but I gotta say it helps. Uh, I got a bunch of lion crap all over my mirror in my bathroom. You know, lion. So, but definitely, like, just put them up on your mirror. My success is assured. Uh, I I I got them all over the house now. So they're, but I say them fairly often. They're great for a couple reasons. Everybody talks down to themselves. Even once you get better, you still talk down to yourself sometimes. Uh, Sometimes I do it in a hilarious fashion. Sometimes I pretend my dog is mocking me. Where's my dog? Oh, she's asleep. We got a new dog. We got two dogs. I haven't quite worked out his voice or personality yet, so but his name's Lucky. It's Molly Dog's new brother. He's so sweet. He's such a good boy. Oh, he's so kind. He whines a lot, but so does Molly. So he's at least 1% husky. Um, okay. Okay. What do you do when you don't feel motivated? Cry. Go back to bed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The one of the best things to do, and it's situational. It depends on what you're doing, but try and compartmentalize it as best you can. Like I said, sometimes I don't have a great day at the gym, and I'm there for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, I'm not. Today, honestly, it was one of my days off. My schedule got kind of screwed up, so I got a real specific routine that I follow. But I didn't manage to do it in the appropriate amount of days like I normally would. So today was kind of supposed to be my day off, but I went anyways. I just felt like it. I had some time in my schedule, and I just went, and then I kind of showed up and didn't do that much. That's the 15-minute gym sesh that I keep, going back to was about. It was me, but I went, and I'll be back to my normal schedule tomorrow. So try and do the best you can to minimize the damage. Uh, Sometimes you're gonna have setbacks. Sometimes you're not gonna go to the gym for a couple days, or you'll go back to smoking, or you'll go back to drinking. There's what is it in? I think it's Alcoholics Anonymous, or it's an NA. One of them is what is it called? Um, Hold on, I'm thinking of it. Relapse. Oh yeah, it's NA. Relapse is part of recovery, and this is debated, but it's by the spirit of the law, not by the letter. If you screw up and you have a bad day and you break and you know, you have a night of drinking, or, you smoke, it's okay. You're human. You screwed up. Are you going to waste, like that's part of the reason I was trying to remember when I quit smoking. What was it, a month? Are you going to, you know, go back? Are you going to start drinking again? Are you going to start smoking again? Or did you screw up? Because I'm not going to say nothing wrong with, but, it's life. It happens. Stuff gets stressful. Get, life gets rough. It's real out there, folks. Uh, but if you just screwed up and then tomorrow rolls around and you're like, I told myself I'm not doing this anymore, and I've been doing really good. In my opinion, I've already made it past the hard part. Like day 3 of quitting smoking is the hardest part. So, am I gonna go back, or am I gonna, just whoops? It's okay to screw up. It's not okay to just, completely backslide and go back to things you're not supposed to be doing. Planning your day for optimal productivity. Yeah, I just read the title. I'm working on this. I was supposed to have worked on this a long time ago, and I did, but it's not even applicable for where I'm at with my life now. Uh, Back to the waking up at 6 in the morning. I don't check my email before noon. I do go to the gym before noon, and I'm gonna try and start going back to when I wake up, I eat, then I go to the gym. I know other people do it backwards, but I'm trying to eat a whole lot. So, trying to get a lot of calories for bulking. So, however you can be the most productive, down to what are you eating for breakfast? Are you eating complex carbs and protein? And that way, you have energy throughout the day, and not, starch is just going to crash. You have energy for the whole day. What are you doing your first 3 hours at work? Your first 2 or 3 hours should be focused on, in the morning, after you get up, after you go to the gym, or if you go to the gym in the morning, whatever. Your first 2 or 3 hours are your most productive hours. If you have massive problems that need to be solved, you should be doing the first 2 or 3 hours of the day. You should, you know, don't even bother checking email. That's why I don't, because that seriously cuts in it at the very best. That cuts a half hour out of those 3 hours because I'm checking my email instead of, you know, working on problem solving for important stuff. Uh, you get yourself a good little nap in. Yeah, you can extend that some. You can, you know, come back, go to the gym. After, so for me, I wake up, I try and kill the either go to the gym, or if I'm not feeling it, I go straight to work. Go to work for 2 3 hours, wake up a little bit. It's cold. I don't deal well with cold outside, folks. It's like the world's trying to kill me or something. So I get up, move around, get my life together. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh, it's me again. But and then I straight up go to the gym, come back, take a little nap. Then it's like I'm starting the day over again, and I get maybe not 3 hours straight of really mega productive time, but I get another good while in. So it's another hour or two at least. All right. So mantras for self motivation. I suppose that's one I could use. Okay, so the very last one I'm going to touch on is the psychology of motivation. There are three types of motivation: Extri- extrinsic, intrinsic, and family. I meant to do more research about the family one before I hopped on the podcast, but I didn't have time. I was making sure I stream on all of the platforms. So, and my phone wasn't working as a camera, and it's gorgeous. You can read my fingerprints, Siri. Okay, so extrinsic motivation is you like cause and effect. So you go to the gym, you don't see results immediately, but you go to the gym, 3 weeks, a month, you've been relying solely on intrinsic motivation, internal. Just I'm motivating myself. Extrinsic is the reward, the payoff. You see in the physical world how things you are doing, decisions you are making are changing the world around you. Uh, it's not just limited to the gym, but then you go. It's been 2 months, and you hop on the scale, and it's you know 4 to 10 pounds more in the direction that you were aiming for than it was when you stepped on the scale, 2 months ago. That's extrinsic motivation. That's what you want. That's the payoff. That's the reward for that. You did what you were supposed to be doing. You you do feel that. You do that does kind of push you along. Uh, I think Jordan Peterson said, make a make a goal, try and figure out what your goal is, and then move towards it. And then you'll need to readjust. You'll need to try and refigure out your goal, recalculate, re-aim. But once you see yourself moving towards that goal, that's one of the most motivational things. That's one of the most renewable sources of your own mental energy that you have. It's moving toward it achieving a goal does almost nothing. Like I don't know why. That's just like it it truly is about the journey, not the destination. Like you save for months and you finally buy that giant TV or iPad earphones Pro that you had your eye on, and you get it and you open the box and it's great, and then like 3 days later you're like, yeah, these are my headphones. They're great. No, I mean they're the highest in quality. I love listening to them. That's it. That's but while you were thinking about it, while you were working towards it, while you were saving for it or whatever, that's what pushed you along was seeing that you were making progress towards it. So And family motivation is motivated to do things by like protecting your family. That's another one that's powerful. I've started all of this. I've started 2 companies. I've kept up with, which is difficult, this podcast. I've managed to, I think we took a week break once, and then we had an incident where somebody was sick or something happened. I don't remember. But every week, y'all see me here. Uh, this evening, I didn't go to hang out with some friends because I have a podcast. It's Friday night. I know it's supposed to be, go out, hang out with your friends Friday, but I got a podcast to run. And this has typically been a better time for people to listen anyways. I might move back to Thursday. I don't know. Leave your comments on your preferred platform after you like and subscribe to us. Wink, wink. As to when would be the best time for you to listen to us going live. Because while we do have the podcast, like it's, during the week, anytime is, for the most part, is fine with me. I just do it on Thursday or Fridays because, well, Fridays because it was easier for James, but, whatever. Another thing I heard, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Finding a mentor is difficult, but every time that I've, I wished for a mentor, wanted a mentor, thought about, boy, this would be so much easier if I had somebody to hold my hand and explain to me how things work. Okay, but no mentor is going to waste their time with somebody through the hand holding phase at the beginning of something because there's a good chance you won't stick with it. A lot of people don't stick with stuff. That's kind of the whole shtick of this evening is, trying to keep you motivated to keep your New Year's resolutions. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And somebody reached out of the ether and started talking to me, and they're helping me get my life together in just various ways. And every mentor that I've had in my life, I had to reach a certain threshold of knowledge or discipline or whatever before somebody just kind of showed up and said, hey, yeah, I know about this. Do you need some help? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get from a 5 to like an 8 out of 10 scale of knowledge on this, call manager or something for Cisco's call manager. And he was like, oh, yeah, I do that. That's, the other job that I have. It's a real specific pitch, man. You serious? He explained trunking and all this. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Please tell me more. But yeah, that's once you get to a certain point and you need help, that's kind of one of the things we're here for. It's why we're coaching. It's, but anyways, so that's been this week's solo podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your brothers, sisters, cousins, other homies, your local, your boy at the trap house, wherever, anybody that needs coaching or anything, just shoot this over to them. But we hope you all have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.